Hey, and welcome to today's video. So in this video, you're going to learn a little bit more about the magnetic speaking coaches. And we're just going to go through and just go question to question, coach to coach, and anything's got to come up in this one. So pay close attention and you never know what details you may find. All right, so first up here, Erin. So why don't you go ahead and just tell us a little bit about where you are right now and what's going on with that?
Hi, everybody. So I'm Erin. I'm one of the trainers here at Magnetic. I am actually calling in from Lebanon right now in the Middle East. My family is here, and so I'm abroad. One of the great things about COVID is it's actually allowed us to work remotely from anywhere. So I've been able to get the internet connection going here and stay here while I'm doing coaching. We have a little bit of power issues going on in Lebanon, so it's anything can happen Wednesdays. You might see the power go off, who knows? But I've been able to meet with clients from here and do great work with them.
That's great. Thank you, Erin. And I am a big foodie and I love cooking. And the other day I was talking to my 91-year-old grandma and she says, "Oh, I didn't know you cooked. I thought you just ate." So on the foodie note here, tell us a little bit about some of the food, some of the dishes there in Lebanon.
Yes. Oh, the food is amazing. It's unbelievable. I actually just went to lunch today at this delicious place. I hope I say this correctly. I'm still learning Arabic, so who knows how it'll come out. But fatul is the dish that we got. And it's this delicious, it's like hummus and yogurt and fried pita bread, and you eat it with a spoon, and there's chickpeas in it, and it has this nice smoky roasted taste. It's so good, and it's one of my favorites.
It's making me hungry. It sucks to be doing intermittent fasting at this point.
Oh, I'm so sorry for you. Yeah, one of the downsides is I can't share my food with you. I can't pass.
Right.
That's right. That's great. Thanks, Erin. And what are some foods when you're back in the States that you like cooking, or meals, or any kind of restaurants you enjoy?
I eat a lot of Lebanese food. So in my family, my husband does all the cooking. I'm very lucky. I get that delicious flavor all the time. But I miss some American foods. I miss the classics like peanut butter. Can't get any peanut butter over here. Oh. So we'll have that when we go home.
Interesting. Nothing like a good peanut butter and jelly.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. All right. And then Rahul. So tell us a little bit about what's been going on in your world, just in terms of some of the people you're coaching and some of the things you're noticing coming up with some of your clients.
Yeah, there's one client that I was just thinking about this morning because he's working on some amazing stuff. He's an executive at a ecological restoration company. And long story short, this is a big industry that's booming in California and in the US. It's one of the largest labor forces in terms of construction and other things. And, they're doing a lot of talks with Congress people. They're having big conventions, conferences, because they're trying to grow this as a specialized craft industry and trade industry. And so it's been really cool learning about that from him, and how you can build an entire industry that doesn't require a college degree, that you don't even need to be super fluent, in English, like a high level of English, like just enough. And you can do something that's super useful for the environment. You can take pride in that work that you're doing. And it's specialized too, because one day you're working near a river, and the next day you're working at a home because it needs to be restored in a particular way, et cetera. So I've been thinking about that. It's been really cool working with him.
Oh, that's amazing. And talking about the environment with him, what are some things that come up for you personally about because I know in the past you like working with people that are doing a lot of environmental work. And for you, what makes that interesting? What engages you personally, Rahul?
I think for me, one is if the client themselves are super into it. So I can tell, for example, it's really passionate. It's really a passion for him. He's been in the industry for 20 plus years. He worked his way all the way up, starting as working in the field himself. So that's really cool. I can feel it emanating from him. So I feed off of that. Other than that, I mean, for myself, I've been reading about things around environment, ecology, climate for many, many years. And for me, the I don't know, it's ideological. Like I know I grew up in California around redwoods, going hiking all the time. going surfing. And so for me, it's like, well, if we don't take care of this, then what are we going to do? So it's important that that these clients are really into it, and that I feel aligned with what they're doing, and that's really fun. That said, I read a lot about a lot of different topics. So I have another client working in real estate development, specifically corporate real estate development, and it's kind of fun listening to how the deals are structured and all the stuff behind the scenes. When you go see these buildings out here in San Francisco, I can see it from my bedroom. I don't know how those leasing and all that kind of stuff works, and sometimes it's over my head, but it's interesting to know because it is how the world runs and operates.
Absolutely. And seeing such a massive industry like that, just getting some insider information and behind the scenes, what is one thing that the biggest thing you've learned from that client, or sticking your head in that industry a little bit?
Yes, I can tell you one thing immediately, because we just worked on this yesterday for like a full hour to try to refine a particular message. And that is that the life sciences industry, specifically in San Francisco, is what is hot right now. Life sciences, I think the vacancy rate is less than maybe 1% or something like that. So it's booming, and we have Genentech just down the street, essentially. So it's growing.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, thanks for sharing that, Rahil. And Peter, talking about life sciences, I know you had started your career as an engineer. So what would you say has been one of the biggest things over your development as you were building Magnetic, and in just what you had to develop within your own self? We're a professional development company, and with your communication obviously being one of the biggest things, but what's been those one or two things that you've had to develop within yourself to really advance in your career?
Awesome. Well, let me first share where I'm at. I'm in the Bay Area in the San Mateo section. It's called the Peninsula. So today is very chilly here. And I'm sitting here in my office in the bunker, sharing with you. So I came from an engineering background. I used to work as a pharmaceutical engineer, and I decided to change and do something different. And the first thing I worked on was my communication skills. And then I got into training, and from training different topics like negotiation, conflict management, I started teaching public speaking, and then started magnetic speaking, and it took off. And now we work with very, very smart professionals who are humble, yet, they just want to work on their communication skills to move ahead. And that's my passion. And that's what wakes me up in the morning, is knowing that we're going to work with these smart professionals who deserve the attention, deserve the respect, deserve the celebration of their accomplishments, and we help them communicate and be sharper with their messages, so they get the visibility that they deserve.
That's great, Peter. And in terms of passion and interest, so we had talked about food a little bit, talked about your passion. I happen to have some background on you. So what is your recent passion in food, and what have you been doing some dishes?
Food. I'm the person that cooks in our household. I also come from a Middle Eastern background. Unfortunately, I'm not good at cooking the Middle Eastern stuff. I like easy things, very fast things. Lately, I've been into smoking. So yesterday I smoked some salmon. It was the best I've ever made. Okay, I've made salmon before, but I think the engineer part of me likes to experiment. So every time I change the recipe a little bit, I change the time, I change the temperature. Yesterday was like the best, and even my wife said, "This is the best one I've had so far. Don't change it." I'm like, "Good luck."
You don't remember what you did exactly.
Exactly. I have no clue what I've done.
Yep. Should have wrote it down. Dang it.
Never remember the best one.
Yeah, exactly. I should be recording myself while doing it, so I remember what I changed.
Right.
Amazing. Well, thank you for sharing a little bit about yourselves, and let's just go through one final quick speed round, bringing it back to elementary school here. let's just share one interesting fact that people probably don't know about you. All right, Erin, go for it.
Hmm. One fact that people might not know about me is I am an Irish citizen and an American citizen. I have a lot of family in Ireland. I love visiting them there and telling great stories and great jokes. We're known for our sense of humor, so I really enjoy that with my family. The cooking is not as good, unfortunately, so I let my Lebanese partner do all the cooking.
There you go. Yeah, I hear Ireland has beautiful rocky shores and just amazing
Yeah,
views too.
go there for the hiking, not for the food.
For the hike, yeah, for the scenery, not necessarily as much for the food experience. All right, great. And Rahul, what's an interesting fact people probably don't know about you?
Well, if we're on the theme of different countries and international travel, since I was probably, well, first off, the first time I took a plane was when I was 4 months old, and I've been traveling ever since. So my mom went back from California to India to have me there with her family. Then at 4 months old, came back here, and then every year or two since then, since I was up until I was 18, I went back to India to spend all summer. My mom's a teacher, so she took my sister and I during summer breaks, and maybe not every year, but every year or two, we would go, and I'd spend 3 months straight with my cousins and visiting all different parts of India. And I had a set of friends there during the summers, and I had a set of friends here. And I think it's still hard to say how it changed me and morphed me as a person, but I know it did.
Mm, absolutely. Being immersed in two cultures like that, just growing up in your youth, I mean, I'm sure it had an impact. So that's great. We got a world traveler. And Peter, how about yourself? Fun facts people probably don't know about you.
Speaking about travel and overseas, I was born and raised in the West Bank as a Catholic Palestinian. Most people are surprised when they hear that, but that's the interesting part.
Great. All right. Well, thank you for all sharing a little bit about yourselves. And for you listening, that is a little bit about us. That's about the Magnetic Speaking Coaches. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to stick around next time.